guys, you loved Austin Rouse. You loved that podcast. The numbers don't lie. Thank you. It was our biggest debut yet. Hopefully we'll keep that trend rolling. Let's see. Today on the podcast we have very dear friend, Mr. James Bell, also known as Jimmie Otis on the Facebooks. And James actually introduced Will and I a long time ago. But I will have to warn you, Mom, if you're listening, James may use some language. Tell Dad to cover his ears, because Mr. Bell is a loose cannon. We had a really grand time, but if you have sensitive ears, I don't know, maybe keep the volume low or just wait till next week. But it's a really fun episode. And also, I think Will and I are getting ready to do a really nerdy top 5 comics of all time pick, which is really hard to do. So we're going to try it. But without further ado, here's episode number 6, James Bell.
You are now a loyal follower of the Villain District Podcast.
I told that Jake brought bourbon when he did his episode. Did you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because I was like, dude, wait to drink that until we start talking.
And then everybody else did.
Yep. And then
they were like waiting ready for seconds, man. And I'm sitting here with a full glass. Look. Okay, most of my teenage years was filled with being the butt of their joke.
No.
Oh, come now. Oh, come now. Okay.
All you faithful?
Okay. Because I would say something normally without thinking clearly.
No.
And I would say it and mean a certain thing, but they didn't care. So it was just, James is an idiot. Okay?
Hey, let's play a game.
Yeah.
Hey, podcasters out there. So tonight we're joined with Mr. James Bell, Jimmie Otis.
Jimmie Otis.
Will and I, we grew. Actually, James introduced Will and I in the 5th grade, and I met James in the 4th grade.
Because you let me be Batman and he wouldn't.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
True.
I'm Batman.
That's why.
And I met James in the 3rd grade.
Right.
So I met you that year. You switched classes, or I guess we all did.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't remember.
And just so you guys know, tonight it's Will and I are your Villain District podcast regulars, and we're joined with James Bell, but we're also joined with Jacob Kelsey.
Yeah,
again.
we are.
Yeah,
he's sitting in for Chris tonight.
I will say, you all loved. We saw the numbers, and you all showed Jake's first episode, some love, and so we were like, well, he's here. We got to mic him up and get him a part of this thing. So,
let's play a game.
Okay, I'm down for a game.
And the game tonight is, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Okay, I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you.
I know what I would pick.
To think of one that has not been thought of.
Okay, wait.
Okay, go ahead. Right off the top of your head, you got 5 seconds. Think of a superpower that doesn't already exist.
Well, if
one,
I feel
that
like
wasn't the game.
I feel like if me and Joe could have a secret,
5. You couldn't do it.
I feel like if me and Joe could have a superpower when we were younger, it would be being a dick.
Oh no, you had that. Like that was.
Wait, so okay,
See, here's the thing. That wasn't the game.
Yeah,
that's the game you were playing.
The point I'm making.
Wait, we gotta give some foundation here. So a long time ago, we were little kids. Me and Joe and James were talking. I don't even remember how it came up. We were talking about what superpower we would want.
We
right?
weren't little kids. This was somewhat recently.
Yeah, we were.
When was this?
It was like junior year.
This was 2007.
Oh my gosh! What?
This conversation was 2007?
There's no way.
It was when we were working on Environmental Protection Man 2. That's where Hammer Hands came from.
That's
we were
true.
like, oh wow, at the end of this movie,
That's true.
we have to put a scene
I've been lying to my therapist. I thought it was a long time ago.
Dude, I've been lying to your therapist too for years. So anyway, 2007, I guess. Me and Joe and James.
Wow, I could drink at that point.
There you go.
Yeah, it was 2007 because we
Yeah.
were filming the movie.
Yeah,
That's when we all got back to, that was like right after you quit the band.
Yes.
And we all got together and made a ridiculous sequel to a movie that we had made like junior year of high
Yeah,
school.
it was like sophomore, junior year.
We used to make movies a lot, and we may have to dig into that, but we made one called Environmental Protection Man.
Epic.
That was, it was like, wasn't it like We Have Nothing to Do Today?
Yeah,
Today.
there was no
Today.
plan.
Yeah.
We had a camera.
We're hanging out. We have
And
a
we were
camera.
there.
It doesn't
Yeah.
look like that at all. It looks like you guys spent months writing it.
I know. So,
I mean, look. When you've got it, you've got it. Okay,
You, my friend.
sometimes
have it.
You're at the top of a mountain, and that mountain turns out to be a volcano. Okay, and it erupts.
Yep.
It erupts. Okay, and out of that eruption
Comes Hammer Hands. So we were sitting around. I think we were in my parents' living room because that's where we were for like I don't know something like 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight. My parents' living room, and we were like, okay, if you could have any superpower, and I thought we were being honest because in my opinion, the power of flight is just like sure it's everyone says that, but dude.
but
oh,
dude,
it would be
power of
awesome.
flight. Yeah.
It would be unbelievable. Yeah.
So
That's not
James came up with, you know what? I would be invulnerable. I would be invulnerable
Yeah, here's
to
the
everything.
thing. Here's the
yeah,
thing, right? Okay, we're talking about superpowers. When Joe said I would be able to fly, nobody said, well, I don't think your reaction time would be good enough to dodge a duck and you'd break your face. Nobody said that.
Okay, hold on,
so
hold on.
I was operating under the assumption
Hold on,
that we were being ridiculous and not trying to ground it in reality.
Okay, hold on. Back up. We should note that James was our target for a long time.
Yeah.
So Will and I...
That's something I've not been lying to my therapist about.
Will and I made eye contact at James's expense a long time, and I think sometimes we had some sort of psychic connection. How can we spin this?
Yeah.
How can we spin what James says?
The weird part of all this is, you both did that to me for a long time. There was only one summer that I hated him. I don't know what it was, but do you remember that? There was one summer we
Vaguely.
couldn't stand each
When he,
other.
when
I
he
kinda
says
remember that.
him,
I
he's
kinda remember that.
talking about Will, not the Joe Show.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
No,
was.
I
Maybe
remember
you're
that.
just too pretty, man.
I'm gorgeous.
Dude, wait.
That
I'm
means
too
that you're
pretty?
not pretty.
No, not
No.
Will.
Oh,
He's too pretty. No, you're not.
dude.
So-
I'm just pretty enough.
So we're sitting there, and James says, I would have the power of invulnerability. And Will and I are like, oh, so like you'd rather not feel anything? You wouldn't be
can't
able to feel human emotions?
That's
You would-
ridiculous.
What an awful life
Here's
you
the
would
thing.
lead.
Here's
And
the thing.
James-
Is I said I would like to have invulnerability, thinking the bullets couldn't hurt me, and
Yeah.
like you could throw stuff at me, and I'd be
We
like, I don't
took it
care.
on an
Okay,
emotional
and then what
level.
What happened was they drug a half-slaughtered calf out into the woods and just threw it into the pack of coyotes.
And that half-slaughtered calf said, well, then I would want, I don't know, hammers for hands.
What I meant, this goes back to my point previously about twisting what I meant and what I said and the not thinking and the whole thing.
Yeah.
What I meant was I would like to be able to morph my hands into giant hammers.
yeah.
But what he said was...
The problem was I was on an emotional high because things were crashing down around me and my two best friends just ruined my life. Okay? And so I just blurted out, I would have hammers for hands. And this asshole, Joe, okay, that guy,
Joe
looks
show,
at me,
not me.
looks at me, the one that I didn't hate, looks at me, okay, and he says, why don't you just carry some hammers?
Let's make this dream a reality and get this guy a couple of hammers.
And then Will's like, man, it'd be hard to tie your shoes. And we had just talked about laser eyes and flight without vehicles.
Yeah, but man, if you just carried the hammers, you could set them down.
Oh my God. Horrible.
So we did.
It's
so
horrible.
we
You could
did
even
that.
get a tool belt to put the hammers in, so you wouldn't have to set
You
them down.
weren't
They would
there.
already be
You
ready.
weren't there.
I
You
know,
don't
but
get
I'm
this.
here now.
Okay,
So-
you don't get this. You weren't there.
So
I'll defend you
so
the day I
after
die.
we just volleyball spiked James's dreams into the dirt. We decided
into the sand.
into this. I'm sorry. Yeah, where would we be playing volley? That's crazy. After we did that, we decided actually that's a hilarious idea.
That sounds like a fantastic villain.
and
Actually,
so
yeah.
and so we all were making this movie that was the sequel to Environmental Protection Man, and it was called Environmental Protection Man 2.
Toxic Plant Lady's Revenge.
Toxic Plant Lady's Revenge. Thank you very
Nice.
much. And so at the end
is
of
that you breathing into the microphone?
That might be me too. I don't know. I'm a heavy breather. I'm a heavy breather. I weigh 300 pounds. And I'm
Right
like,
out
you
my
know,
nose, where breathe comes from.
So James, you
It's the
turned
fat guy breathe.
we turned your character into Hammer Hands at the end of that
It's
movie.
true. We
And
did.
it was awesome.
But
It was pretty incredible.
The funny part is we
And our-
have a script written
Yeah.
for Environmental Protection Man 3,
Yeah.
Rise of Hammer Hands.
We've got
Yeah.
hammers built.
Yeah.
We've built the
They're in
hammers.
closet at the house.
Really
yeah.
cool hammers.
We've released press photos.
That's
and
right.
So wait,
But we're far too lazy to make it.
Yeah, it was,
so what you're saying is James' lack of intelligence and not
It was
thinking,
not a lack
I don't
of
Hey,
intelligence.
absent-mindedness.
It was a lack of emotional solidness.
it was a misspeak.
led to an empire, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
So-
it.
Created an
It
empire.
did.
but
right.
we thought
I'm like a phoenix, man. Out of the ashes
There you go.
came new life, and
Yeah.
that new life had hammers for hands.
I don't want to ruin EPM 3 for anyone,
'Cause-
but we may never shoot it, but we
Yeah.
plan on it.
Hopefully.
We haven't even released 2 yet, but it's
right.
it's cut.
I really hope we wait till we're like 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Shooting it in a
We
nursing
could all
home.
reprise our
Do you
roles.
go to nursing homes when you're 60 years
when you're
old?
60
Dude,
years
look at
old.
me. I'm probably going to be in a nursing home at like 48.
But anyway, at the end of that script, how funny would it be? First of all, Hammerhands may or may not experience some sort of redemption, right?
Right.
So at the end, what happens to Hammerhands in the real world? So we thought, how
Yeah.
funny would it be
The scene after
to
the
have
credits.
a Hammerhands after the credits, just in some diner trying to wash dishes
My
with his
idea,
hammers for
my
hands.
idea was that he works at a call center. He's an IT guy, and there's a keyboard in front of him, and he's got a little headset on, and he's like, blah, 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 thank you for calling such and such. How can I help you? And they'll be like, oh, my router's experiencing problems. And he just starts beating the shit out of a keyboard. just demolishing it.
Oh, that's too good.
Oh, it's good.
Oh my!
And then it
goodness.
turns him back into a villain.
we have to put
The anger.
we have to put well, I don't know if it'll be up. I was going to say we need to put a link to one of the EPMs in the show notes.
Yeah,
for
well,
this thing.
EPM 1's up.
EPM
somewhere.
one's up, yeah, somewhere. So
And so what
Yeah.
happened was in our high school years, we actually, Will, James, and I convinced our drama teacher, Miss Carol.
yeah,
I've got that one. All 45 minutes of that one.
yeah,
We acted in a play, this redneck play, where the three of us stood in front of our entire school,
yeah,
shaking our hips and dancing to "Hey Ya" by Outkast.
Yeah, it was
I played the tow truck driver.
Did
but-
you?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what I.
But
played.
that-
I channeled my inner cooter. You know what
There
I'm
you
talking about?
So the second half,
Nobody watches the Dukes.
No,
I like it,
don't
man.
know.
All right, my bad.
I don't know.
All right,
I
that
don't
one
know.
failed.
I like the car with the horns on the front of it.
Yeah,
That was good.
yeah.
Remember
All
that?
right, yeah,
Yeah,
that was a good
cool.
one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Best I got for you.
Good deal.
So the second half of that semester, I guess you call it semester in high school. I don't know.
Like that. I don't know.
Second half of that year.
Yeah.
She was like, well, you guys want to do another play? And the three of us were like,
No.
we've got an idea, Miss Carol.
McCurl.
Miss Carol.
Hey, Ma.
how about we make a movie instead?
Yeah.
So we spent an hour every day at school
Every
making
day.
this movie called Kung Fu
wonderful.
Cleanup.
Dude,
It was
and
so wonderful.
To be fair, that was probably the most like adult thing any of us. Well, I don't want to speak for you all, but that was definitely the most adult thing I did in high school, which
Sure.
was like because we ran that operation.
Yeah.
It
We
wasn't.
did.
We
Yeah.
wrote the thing.
Everyone
We-
else in that class was like taking orders
Yeah.
from the dub.
Yeah.
For all of us, like we knew what
It
we
was
needed.
you.
That's not true.
It
I
was-
edited it because I was the only one with iMovie at the time.
The one that, the same thing that we made our fake MXPX music videos on.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
I need to see those.
So yeah.
So,
It's not that good. We were in his grandma's house
Yeah.
with like a snare drum and an A cymbal
Dude, it was
with
real.
blankets over them
It was real. Yeah. You gotta
and
keep
an
it down.
unplugged electric
You
guitar.
gotta keep it down.
And we were just in that back room where the computer was, which was like
Yeah.
10 by 10
Dude.
square.
Yeah. Stars were born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we
Look
made
how I turned out.
we made a movie. I think I out of all of us, I'm probably the worst actor because I just cannot disconnect. I cannot like get in that headspace. So they were like, "Well, we'll just do a movie that's completely overdubbed. You don't have to say anything.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to run around, kick and punch, and act stupid."
You basically have to be you.
Right? Exactly.
That movie, you were just kind of, I'm going to do the things that I do normally.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Will was my voice.
Yeah, I was your
Yeah.
voice. You were my voice.
Yeah.
So
and
we
that
did
was
it-
even bad.
It was
You
a kung,
were-
it was
Joe
a kung
was my
fu
voice.
movie. It
Oh,
was a
I
kung
was-
fu movie, and
James
so
was your voice.
I
I
was
was
your
James.
that's right. Okay, so it was a kung fu movie, and it was called Kung Fu Cleanup. Cleanup with a K.
Yeah.
And so
Revenge?
we did overdubs on it.
Revenge of the Logger Mom.
Oh, that's right.
Remember that? It was
Oh
like
my
Yeah.
gosh.
Revenge
yeah.
of the Fist.
Uh-huh.
It was some long,
Some
crazy something.
ridiculous, yeah. So we did the whole thing, shot it silently, and even did like preschool style sound design, just
Yeah.
with our mouths, just going
Yeah.
psh,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
punches.
For
Needless
those of
to
you-
say,
Yes.
shortly before we did this, we watched Kung Pao for the first time.
Oh yeah, yeah, a classic.
So all that to say, that was kind of our first real
It
experience
is
in
intended
movie
to
making.
become a car, and is not
Intended to be not come a car.
yeah,
So that was our first real experience with movie making.
The biggest thing I remember about that movie, like the biggest thing that still to this day, I'm like, yeah, we got one over on them.
uh-huh.
We snuck in a word for the vagina.
Did we? I don't remember that.
Really?
When you met
But I
your
believe
dad,
it.
when you met Luke Bristow as your dad,
Uh-huh.
you called him your Grandmaster Fee-wee. And that was when we were kind of
See,
learning how to cuss without
I
cussing. you know?
remember that word, but I did not remember that that's where it came from.
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
hilarious.
Because we
I'm so
thought,
glad.
we pulled one over
Wait,
on him.
so
that
who
means
was-
vagina?
Wait, who was my voice again? Will was?
Yes. I
So
was your
whenever you
voice.
probably ADR'd me saying that, you
Yeah.
probably you can probably hear you're like on the verge of laughing.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
So-
Gosh.
The footsteps at the drum wall.
That-
The footsteps
that
at the
movie
drum
was
wall.
ridiculous.
So we made that movie. We did all the ADR with the old iMac built-in mic, and then we saw Sam Raimi's Spider-Man,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we were like, okay, let's beat that.
Yeah.
Well, in between that was
This just got
was
real.
David before or after Kung Fu Cleanup?
David was after, I think.
That's what I thought. It was
yeah, it
between
may-
Kung Fu Cleanup and Environmental
It
Protection.
may have been.
David
yeah,
was
I
a
don't remember.
horror flick that we made
Yeah.
where Will played. I think I did all the cinematography.
You weren't in the movie. You
It's-
just did a lot of behind the camera stuff.
right.
Remember that.
I ended up like after Kung Fu Cleanup shifting into the guy that just held the camera.
Yeah, because you were the
That's-
star of the visual star of Kung
Right.
Fu Cleanup.
Right.
And
So
I
that-
almost think we made David because you found a recipe for fake blood.
that could
Probably.
be right.
Like I think
Yeah.
it was like I found this awesome recipe for fake blood. Let's
It
make
was-
a horror movie.
It was
Yeah.
it was kind of a zombie movie, kind of a
Sort of.
monster movie.
Yeah, and it was also a
Kind
buddy
of
of A buddy of ours, one of our early bass players, John Alexander, his dad was working on his house at the time. Yeah. And so it was like,
and
there was
house,
a lot of stuff.
It had that feel. It had that
vibe. Like, yeah, there was no furniture. There was just stuff that was being worked on.
Right. And the sad thing is that movie is actually, someone ended up taping over that movie.
Yeah, it got lost.
So at that time, this was like 10 years ago, maybe, which is, it's ridiculous that like now if I'm working on a video project, everything is completely digital, completely back-upable.
Yeah,
there is no tape involved with anything you've seen that I've made visually.
Yeah.
Back then, we made it on a camcorder that was tape. We put it into, we fed it through, I don't know how we got it, but we fed it through.
Didn't your dad have something where you could convert VHS to digital?
Right, so we converted it to digital.
Yeah.
But our bounce, our bounce of the movie was analog. We bounced it back to VHS tape, and that was our movie, right?
Yeah. So we had it on a tape.
At that time, it wasn't like save as a .mov. It was like, how do you want to export in real time?
Yeah, how do you want to get this back out to your VCR?
Right.
Yeah,
so
because
that you can tape it.
I remember being over at your house, putting that thing out, and you just had to hit play, and we sat around for however long the movie was.
Yeah, in real time.
So that got taped over. We made one copy.
Yeah, exactly.
That movie's gone forever.
Yeah, we made one copy. So we've made a bunch of movies, though.
I heard from someone that there was still a copy. I thought like Laura had or something.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
She was in that though, right?
She was in that. I think there was only one big VHS copy, and that got taped over. There's a little like camcorder thing somewhere, but I've spent hours and hours watching all those little things that I have, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Yeah, just looking for it. But
so we made long story short, we made a bunch of movies.
Yeah,
and then we were like, one day we were all sitting around, and this movie that we made, Environmental Protection Man, I played the character that had the least screen time because I can't act worth a hoot, and I'd much rather be behind the camera. So we came up with, how about we make up this character in, I don't know, Environmental Protection Man or something ridiculous, to where this guy, his whole purpose is just to protect leaves and trees.
I think it came about because we were like, what if Captain Planet could be lamer?
Actually,
I think it's how the genesis of that.
You want to know how it really came about?
I don't
see. I have a theory about this too. I hope they're all different. Go ahead.
I remember. Yeah. I feel like that I'm correct.
Okay,
you could be.
Go for it.
I feel like I'm probably not.
My theory was we wanted to make a superhero movie.
Yeah.
We went down my parents' hallway into the linen closet.
Yeah.
We grabbed the first sheet we found that was for Will's cape, because Will has to be Batman.
Yeah, I'm Batman.
Son of a bitch.
And it had plants on it.
It had flowers on it. It had little it was like a flower, a floral
I would like to
pattern.
add that, by the way, Will always has to be Batman.
Yeah.
Stems from very, very early.
Yeah.
When Will would get very upset if someone else wanted to play Batman. Like when we would play Batman and Robin, I would be like, hey, can I be Batman? And he'd be like, shut up.
Will made
And even when we made up superheroes, right? We would make up superheroes. And I don't know if you remember.
I don't.
But we made up a superhero team. It was how this started.
Okay.
You were the Apparition.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. You were.
We wrote stories about that guy.
That sounds good.
And I was Swift.
I don't remember any of this.
You were Swift.
We made these superheroes
the
up,
Robin.
and it started out to be a superhero team, and it ended up like we made these characters and we did these bios, and we as much as like 9-year-olds can, or however old we were.
Yeah, whatever.
And like after about an hour, Will was like, "Hey, I think it'd be better if like you were my sidekick."
I don't remember that at all.
And
I'm so sorry.
I was like a freaking lame duck at that point, like because here's the thing. Like we moved into town when I was in the 3rd grade. Before that, I didn't have electricity or like indoor plumbing. I was like as bumpkin as it could get. The first friend I made was Will.
You're welcome.
He took me and thank you, because he took me to his house, and I don't even know if you still know this. I don't know if I ever even told you.
Oh God,
he took me to his house, and we played Carmen Sandiego on his computer. Okay, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? He was like, "Hey, you want to play a game?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was waiting for like chess or something. We walked over to this magic box.
Yeah,
I didn't know what it was. Like, I had no clue what that was.
I had no
and
idea.
then he put this little round thing in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, there's a wizard living in Will's house.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know this to this day, but my dad's a wizard. So
Yeah, well,
it's
I figured.
yeah.
I mean, he had to be.
Yeah.
Look what he did with that box.
That's right. That's right.
For those of you that know Will now, Will is like, he's this health conscious. He's a runner. He's
Total loser is what we're getting at.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's an all around, like, sure, whatever you guys want to do kind of guy.
Why is this the? Okay, go ahead. I was like, why is this the?
There was a time where
Oh, man.
Will was a little bit unhealthy, maybe.
Okay, wait.
You were
wait.
He was a big old boy.
I was gonna say, so that's Joe's way of saying it. Now we hear James's way of saying it. He was a little bit unhealthy, maybe.
Yeah. You were grotesquely obese. Grotesquely.
But that
It was
wasn't the
difficult
worst.
to
I
look
would
at
not
you.
argue with
That
that.
wasn't the worst
not
part
argue with
about
that.
Will was the fact that there was a time where you were like socially and mentally allergic to the outdoors.
That's very true.
You didn't want to do anything outdoors.
That's very true. How was that?
I don't know. That was strange.
That's yeah, it is strange.
I remember thinking when I met you, like, you just really did not want to
Yeah.
just deal with that.
Is it because it was hot?
Yeah.
No,
You were
I have
big
no
and
idea.
sweat a
I don't
lot?
know what it was.
I can't even remember what that was at this point.
Yeah, but
my
it
memory's
was-
bad. But it was real.
Because it was
real.
like
But
really far away from the
that-
fridge, maybe?
That's probably had something to do with it.
That mentality kind of led into this Batman thing where
Yeah.
you just had to be Batman.
Sure.
And,
yeah.
it was like one of those. We say that now as like Will had to be Batman, like in every situation.
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of was at that point when you were a kid. Was like if it didn't go like you were, I won't say spoiled. Because you weren't necessarily, but to a degree, like to a
You're
degree,
a big fat baby.
like to a degree, you were like, if things didn't go your way, like you couldn't handle it.
So what you're saying was he was really spoiled.
Just reworded
Look, I just
it.
called him grotesquely
You just-
obese and horribly
Well,
ugly.
here, I didn't.
I tried
You were
to-
really spoiled.
You didn't
you
know
were.
me,
You
Jake
were.
Kelsey.
I
were.
seen
You were
pictures.
spoiled and you were a
You
little
didn't know
pretentious.
me. No,
you were a little
I don't think
pretentious.
so.
Pretentious?
I don't think I was
once-
pretentious. I was just
we-
better
he
than
did have
you
a devil
guys.
box.
We sat around and we were playing Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
And him and I were having a
Oh,
conversation.
What
God,
a-
you told me this at dinner the
Yeah.
other day. I
Let's
don't
just
remember this at
reflect
all.
on that real quick. What a game.
Right?
Dude.
Right?
Break! Oh, no! Yeah.
Yep.
I totally
But,
know what's going on now.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Jake
But,
Jake is the baby. He was
He is
born
the
in like
baby.
the 90s. So
I was born in 9D.
That's the 90s. That's the start of the 90s.
I know, but you make it sound like
Do you
mid
do
90s,
math?
like I'm 21 or something. I'm 24.
90s. Dude,
he said
Anyway.
like I'm 21 or something. I'm 24.
I'm going to be 25
He was
this
talking
year.
today. We were talking today at work. And he was like, he was trying to give away some futons. And somebody was like, I don't want a futon. And he's like, yeah, that's for like a 21-year-old. And Joe Graham, the guy we work with, was sitting right beside him. He goes, aren't you like 23? He's like, I'll be 25 this year. Come on, man.
I'm
Dude, that's
24 and a half.
I was going to say.
That's right. And listen, no 24 and a half year old needs a futon.
Dude, give it a
Hence why Will dropped his off at my house.
Fair enough.
No, dude, I dropped that off at your house because I
You wanted me to have a useless piece of furniture?
No, dude, let me tell you this. I slept
This
on
is
that.
how you know that it's going to be a great story. Is that it starts out with, well, look, but let me hold on. That's
right.
That's always the start to something that's
Dude,
definitely not an excuse.
I'm just saying, I slept on that futon for a solid like 6 years. Like I didn't have a bed, dude. It was my couch and my bed.
That's great,
and it was
man.
awesome.
I've got a bed and a couch and don't need that futon.
That's true. That's true.
I've actually got multiple
Well,
couches, tons
yeah.
of them. Don't know what to
Actually,
do with them.
I'd probably rather have that futon than the couch I've got now because it's leather.
You can have it.
And we haven't taken care of it very well.
We deliver.
So it's
There you
all
go.
cracked up and junk. So when I lay down on it, it leaves marks on my
We
back.
deliver.
There you go.
Did you know
deliver?
that?
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't want that piece of shit.
Thanks for listening to Futon Traders.
I got a coal burning stove here. I'd take $17
Or 3 chickens.
Not a
or
futon.
3 chickens.
Dude,
Anybody out there?
when I was a kid, me and my dad used to feed coal into our furnace at the
heck
house.
yeah.
I was awesome. So
Are you for real?
Coal?
yeah,
That's awesome.
it was. We loved it.
Wait.
Like, working for heat sucks.
Well,
Did you ever have to split wood? Like
No, he
firewood?
fed coal.
coal? I said coal, Jacob.
Yeah,
Coal,
but
dude.
time marches on, and then like they're like, "Oh, well, coal's cool, but look, here's wood." And then people get wood burning stoves.
No,
And
they
they're
just
like,
got
"Oh,
electric
now
heat."
we've got thermostats."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
we
nobody
skipped-
knows where their heat comes from, and that's all fine and dandy. But have you ever split firewood?
Dude, I know where. Dude, heat comes from the friction between molecules. I know that.
I haven't split firewood, but
I know that, bro.
So Metal Gear Solid. Where were you?
Right. So anyway,
Where are we going?
We were sitting
Metal
there playing
Gear
Metal Gear
Solid.
Solid. We were probably in the 8th grade. And I don't know how the conversation turned this way, but we were just sitting there talking while we were playing. And Will asked me if I had ever read Lord of the Rings. When I was a child, I was allergic to reading. Pretty much.
You broke
I
out.
just didn't do it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just, reading was not my thing. That was for nerds. I was not a nerd.
I'm following you.
I don't want to read. I don't want to
with you.
sit down for that long without doing something.
This is why we're best friends.
right, exactly. And so I was like, no. And he's like, dude, you have to read it.
Dude, without doing something, come on.
And he was like, I mean,
All right, go ahead.
you know,
go ahead.
this
ahead.
is, you know, holding your hands in front of you,
Go
pushing
ahead.
buttons. That's something.
So-
Okay, that's a physical activity, bub.
Okay.
So anyway, he's
Burning
like, you
them
have to
thumb
read it. And I was
calories.
like, I don't want to really.
Yeah.
And he was like, here, I'll let you borrow it. And I was like, okay. And so I left it there. And I came back probably the next day because that's pretty much what happened at that point.
Yep.
And he was like, you forgot to take Lord of the Rings. And I was like, no, I didn't.
No, I just didn't take
yeah,
it.
I just didn't take that because I don't want to read it. He's like, well, look, I'll just read it to you.
Did that really happen?
That
I don't
really
know
A
this at all.
9-year-old
So we would-
reading
I believe
another
it.
9-year-old.
No, we were in like the 8th grade.
I don't know
right,
how
so
old
that makes it
seventh
just a
grade.
little bit worse.
Right.
So
I don't
did you
remember.
read the Lord of the Rings in the
And
8th
so
grade?
we would go over
Yeah,
there
let
and we
him-
would sit around and we would play Metal Gear Solid. And
Yeah.
then Will, when it was his turn, because he took most of the turns, but that wasn't really because he was a dick. That was because I have this strange thing where, like, when people are good at video games, like, I like to watch them play video games.
Because they're good at it.
Yeah. Chris Moore, like, dude, I sat in his house for like 2 weeks solid and watched him play Legends of Zelda Wind Waker. Just watched him.
Dude, I
we
know.
need to get Chris
anyway-
Moore on the podcast.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
I know people who like to do that, and I just can't understand it to this day.
I don't
Like,
even know. I don't even
I watch
know.
I
I'm
watch
to-
gamers on
But
YouTube.
when it
Really?
was...
Isn't that a loser thing to do? That's why I bought Grand Theft
I mean,
Auto
no, dude.
5.
Some people are into
Dude,
that. Some
it's-
people like
it's
to do
just
that.
I
your-
enjoyed it.
It's just your generation. Your generation does that.
My generation.
I was listening to
What does that mean?
to the Nerdist the other day. I was listening to the Nerdist the other day, and it was Rainn Wilson and Chris Hardwick talking, and they were like, kids, like when we were kids, we used to play like video games hard, like I guess like Atari and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, that's
and
tough. It's real hard.
and they were like, now kids just like to watch videos of other people playing video games or even
Yeah.
Minecraft. That's your generation.
Well, I just like YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I'm a
Okay.
big YouTube addict.
Just anything on there is fine.
Well,
Just
no,
whatever?
I mean, no. I like to see interesting things.
Okay.
This main guy I watch, he's Irish.
Okay.
And he always says top of the morning to you, so I really think it's super stereotypical. So I
Okay.
really like it, I think, because of that.
Okay.
That's probably the reason.
So,
But like,
And he
so
makes
you're
like-
into like
he make-
racism and stuff.
No, stereotyping.
You're walking a fine line there, bub.
Yep, but it's still a line.
so like, do you go down? So, Jake, will you go down like a YouTube trail, like a rabbit hole? Will you just click on?
Oh,
like, you
yeah,
know how they
man.
give you
Like-
the videos on the side? You
Yeah,
just, like,
I'll start
follow
watching
those?
like some guy build a cabinet, and I'll end
Uh-huh.
up seeing like, raccoons having sex or something. 3 hours later,
Does
I'm
that
into
happen
it.
to you?
Speaking
That's
of, I
great.
heard-
I'm into
That's
it.
why
I
we're
heard a
best friends.
thing.
I'll let him into something.
I
Did you
heard
see
a
that?
thing the other day that you know how they made people stop clubbing baby seals, which is awesome,
Yeah.
right?
Wait.
Little
That's
fur.
ambiguous, the way you just said that.
Right.
You know how they made people stop clubbing baby seals, which is awesome?
We did that.
Okay, the stopping was awesome. The clubbing was bad.
I don't know.
All right.
So these baby seals, they're like little fur seals, right? So they grow up and they're big furry seals now, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, I
with
bet you do. You probably saw it on YouTube.
this. Yep.
They grew up.
Mm-hmm.
These seals are having sex with the penguins they eat.
And like forceful sex too. Like the penguin doesn't want it.
Wait,
Yeah.
like before they eat the penguin?
Absolutely.
Oh.
But like
So you're saying that seals eat penguins?
seals eat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because we stopped clubbing
Wait,
them.
that's the part that confuses you? It's not that, I'm going to go put my dick in what I'm about to eat. It's, they eat penguins? Well, that's really odd.
Here's the thing.
phone.
Look, okay,
That's
think
worse
of-
than hammerhands.
Hey, think of the animal
Trying
kingdom,
real
right?
hard.
Yeah.
In the animal kingdom, you think about like an animated movie or something.
Sure, yeah.
Well, when animals are animated, they carry like human-like qualities, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And those human-like qualities, like if you implant those on these two animals, I feel like they would be pretty close in like their species or whatever. So
Wait, a seal and a penguin? Wait.
I don't know where I'm going with this.
No,
A
no.
bird and
No.
a mammal, they'd probably be about the same thing.
Wait.
You could probably have a penguin seal baby.
You mean like if they were both? If you had a penguin and a seal in a Disney movie, they'd be represented similarly?
I guess. I don't know.
No, you just gave him an out, is what you did. That's not at all.
I
what
just
he was
think
saying they kind of look the same, as in they're both fat and furry.
Right.
I think it's stranger for a seal to eat a penguin than
Yeah.
for a seal and a penguin to get it on.
Yeah.
It's what?
Is that not stranger?
Cross-species
I feel like
sexual activity.
Dude, I
Penguins
feel like
are big animals.
Penguins are not that big compared to seals. I mean, these are like little king penguins.
I've seen
They're
some
like,
big penguins.
They're like 2.5, 3 feet tall.
I
And
grew
it's
up
got
on
this
Tim Burton's
500
Batman. I've seen
pound-
big penguins.
500-pound like seal just writhing on top of it.
I'm just saying.
And they're not even like, and they're the way that these seals have sex is not like I'm gonna sneak up on you and get you, right? They're looking at each other, like
Okay.
they're face
Staring
to
into the
face,
eyes, man.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Like these seals they're the lowest of the
But
low,
like,
man.
so you can tell.
I
like,
think we should
you
go
can
back
tell-
to clubbing them. Is what I'm saying.
You can tell that like the penguin does not want it. Okay, you can tell. But all his little
Jake's
penguin,
like,
all his
no,
little,
Jake's like, every time I watch it, you can tell.
Every time.
look. That's
I
kinda
haven't
one
even
of those
seen the
things you
video.
gotta
I
rewatch.
haven't seen the video. I just heard about it.
You can see all the other little penguin buddies over there, like, oh God, I'm glad that's not me. And then one of them's probably like, hey, you think we should go like help him? There's like 100 of us and only one of them. And they're like, no.
Dude, I
Let's
feel
just
like
let
hey,
it happen.
can I say this
Because
real
if we
quick?
get over
If he
that,
didn't
he
wanna
might
get-
get us.
If he didn't want to get banged by a seal, he shouldn't have worn them damn shorts.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and speak.
do it.
Let me speak into. I'm speaking into the future.
Okay.
Or I'm speaking into the past.
Okay.
Podcast numbers plummeting to the bottom.
By this time, I will have recorded an intro to this podcast.
Yeah.
Warning my mother.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that she listens to this.
I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. Mama, it might
no.
be appealing to say, oh, James is on the podcast.
Don't. Just don't.
Listen,
do it.
Mom.
Steer clear of that. Steer
James,
clear of that. I'm not the once wonderful young boy I used to be.
James
I've been
isn't what
hardened
you
by the
re-
ways of the world.
James isn't what you remember, Mother.
Yeah, I'm gonna call my dad and be like, "Yeah, you want to hear this?
Yeah,
one.
oh,
You're definitely
dude,
gonna
Papa
want to
Stu's
listen to
gonna be
this
into
one.
this.
You'll want to
Yeah.
hear this? Yeah. This is
My,
dumb.
my dad would be like mortified.
I got a phone call the other day.
Uh-oh.
So this is what you have to look forward to.
About your podcast?
About my podcast.
Did you
Get
really?
a phone call in the middle of the workday. Nobody, well, like everybody calls me during the workday,
Yeah.
but it's only like people I work with and it annoys me.
Sure.
But my sister-in-law called and I was like, oh, that's nice.
Uh-huh.
I pick up the phone and she says, "You're a man-ho." I'm sorry. I was like, what? She's like, "You're a man hoe," and I was like, "What?" She goes, "It was funny, but gross."
But gross.
But gross. I think she was like really upset that I
Well-
said full blown making out.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know.
Hold on now.
Okay,
Hold
at
on.
this point, if you got a phone
I
call
was
for
gonna
full blown
say-
making out,
Yeah, I
I
know.
was gonna
That's what
say,
I'm warning you about.
she hasn't heard
She's gonna
your
call
all's-
you and she's gonna be like, James.
She hasn't heard your all's
She didn't have
dialogue
my
about
number. Don't you give
penguins
it to
and
her. I
seals
will,
yet.
man.
She'll love that.
haven't heard her what?
She hasn't heard your dialogue about penguins and seals yet.
Yeah,
She'll love that.
yeah.
Dude, I just
Look,
want to
I'm
say...
just a nature
look,
enthusiast.
I just want to say, I feel like seals should be eating bamboo. That's just how I feel in my heart.
You would. I bet you'd feed them all
The
kale if
koalas
you
of
could.
the
like-
Arctic.
wouldn't you?
Wait,
Yes,
pandas
dude.
eat bamboo, not koalas.
If
right?
everybody ate kale,
yeah, I don't know.
if
I don't
everybody
know
ate
anything
kale,
about nature.
we'd be
Dude.
fine.
Kale is sweeping
Kale.
the nation. That's what they said on
Did you
Jelly
know
and
that
Michael
there's
today.
there
Let me
was
just-
a girls basketball team, a girls college basketball team that had a kale night.
Okay.
They
Like, if
handed
you
out kale to the first 100 people that walked through the door.
The
You
first
get a
100
handful
people
of
to buy
kale.
tickets, you get a handful of kale.
I mean, that's super
What
weird.
am I supposed to do with that?
Can you deep
Dude,
fry
let me
it?
tell you.
Because if you can't deep
Yes.
fry it, I ain't eating that
Number
shit.
one, yes.
You
and
can.
then number two, you make it with some eggs and some hot sauce.
I ain't got no egg at no basketball game.
You don't. I'm not saying fried up in the bleachers,
So
dude.
I'm supposed to just
Then why
hang
have
up,
it?
put
What
this
are you gonna do? You
kale
gonna
in
put
my
the kale in your
pocket and
pocket?
save it for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
This
Yeah,
is
kale keys,
this is my
man.
souvenir kale. It's like fine china. We don't eat off them plates. We just look at
Maybe you
them.
just wave it.
No.
You just
Jake-
wave it when they score. Just
Jacob.
wave your kale. You go kale, yeah.
Kale, no.
We love kale. Yes, we do. We
Guys.
love kale. How about you?
Guys, listen.
Give me a K.
It's a superfood.
Superfood, bro.
Where do you think Environmental Protection Man gets his powers?
That's right.
Um,
Yeah, why do you think I'm still under
Imagination?
contract? For,
it's not that
EPM.
super because it doesn't have hammers for hands.
That's true.
Story number 2. Commence. We're sitting in Miss Dalton's
I
class.
hate you
man.
for this.
I don't know where we're
And
going, but I'm
we
excited.
were
I knew it was going to
Listen,
go
listen.
here.
Hold
though.
on just a second.
You can't premise everything.
For all 12 of the people listening, I'm not going to premise this. For all 12 of the people listening to this.
Oh, it's gonna
Hey,
be
we
more
get
than
a
12.
lot
There's
more
tens
to
of
it.
A lot
people,
more
man.
than 12, bro.
Okay,
There's tens
but,
of people.
but listen, after that seal thing, we've lost those people.
Oh yeah,
Right.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
We're,
So,
at, we're at
anyway,
about 12.
If,
yeah.
Yeah, that's
if you
true.
12 people
That's true.
are or have children, okay, tell your children.
Why are you letting them listen to this?
Hey, before you
Tell
say
your
can
children.
can we tell the story first before
Dude,
you premise it?
yeah, do the story.
I'm not
first.
premising anything.
Okay, all right.
I'm just tell your children when they go out into the world and they try to make friends for the first time
Pass on them.
to
Go to the
find
next
people
ones.
who will support them and lift them up and make them better people. Don't get the friends that I did.
It's our fault you're the way you are.
That's right. When your mom calls me about this seal thing, I'm going to be like, look, talk to your son. He's the asshole that did this to me.
Fair enough. So,
Continue.
we're in home ec class. I think
What?
maybe
It was home ec
You
class. It was
three
ninth
took
grade.
home ec? Was
Dude,
it a
yeah.
requirement?
No, it was not home ec. It was called consumer economics. But it was home ec.
Oh, okay.
But it was
Okay.
home ec.
I took consumer economics.
we're in Miss Dalton's class, which Miss Dalton is the bomb.
Shiny honey.
Yep.
What? Is that okay to say? Oh, I
Sure.
guess because
She
you're an
used to
adult.
get.
I think that's
she
a
used to
part
get
of,
caught necking down there at Shiny Honey.
I feel like that's
Yeah. Dude, she would tell us stories all the time. She'd be like, when I was a teenager, we used to go down and get caught necking down there at Shiny Honey.
What is shiny honey?
It's a place, apparently.
it's a location in Monticello.
It
I've
sounds.
searched
Hey.
for maps,
Is that
and
where you-
I've
Hey,
really.
Let's all find shiny honey on our own times. We got a story to tell.
Okay.
So we're sitting here in Miss Dalton's class, and she's teaching God knows what.
yeah,
We weren't listening.
we didn't listen.
We spend our time, Will, James, and I, we're either playing with our tech deck, you know, the little skateboards for your fingers,
Or having paper wars with the little superheroes that we drew.
or we're having paper wars, right?
Yeah.
And there's a point where we're all exchanging insults in this paper war. We're writing things back and forth, and it's just, it's a war. It's a mess. It's a hot, brutal, savage mess.
Okay.
And James writes,
I mean,
You had me at hot and brutal.
Listen. The stand of the 300 didn't have shit on this paper war.
and James, in the heat of battle, I think he's writing to Will,
I was writing to Will.
says,
This is one of those moments he was talking about earlier where they just share a look.
he writes, "You are a," and then he spells it. T-I-R-D. Turd.
Listen,
And we're like, Will's a what? He's a tiered?
that would be Teard, you dumbass. Okay? I would like to challenge anyone listening to email these sons of bitches and tell them who taught you how to spell the word turd. And I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be able to come up with an answer. You just had to kind of figure that shit out. It turns out everybody else figured that it had a U in it except for this guy.
Maybe even an E.
Okay.
Maybe, why not an I? Say bird. Say it.
Say bird.
Say it. Say it. It's not beard. That's B-E-A-R-D. In fact, it's bird. You take off the B, you put on a T, you got turd. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter.
Send those emails.
Not even in the slightest.
Yeah.
T-I-R-D.
You ever see The Stand? You know the guy, M-O-O-N. That spells car.
Turd.
So,
T-I-R-D. I don't even remember how that came about.
sure, bird spelled
I
with
remember
an I.
it very vividly.
I believe
because
you.
here's what happened. I was in the middle, right? Will was to my right and Joe was to my left. And we're in the middle. And Joe had just made his move with his paper war guy.
Right.
So Joe had made a move against Will, and I decided, okay, Will was kind of weak at this point, so I'm going to attack Will too. And it didn't work out, and this and that. Well, the paper comes back to me at this point, right? And I knew I had lost. I knew I'd lost because my plan didn't work, because
Of course.
Joe's attack on Will was actually just to distract me, and then they attacked me, and then it was
Boom.
bad. So, at this
But
point,
you
I'd
seen
given
they,
up.
They ganged up on you.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know,
from what
right?
I've
They just
heard.
don't seem like those kind of guys.
No,
Doesn't seem
no.
that. Doesn't seem right.
When I met them in the
Doesn't
third and
seem
fifth
right.
grade, fourth grade, respectively, I thought, man, these seem like some fine young gentlemen.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sitting in the middle, and I start writing it, and they're both looking, right? They're both looking down at the paper, and they're like, oh, okay, what's he going to write? Will, okay, is, a, and then they're like, huh, I guess he's giving up. And they just kind of raise their eyebrows a little bit, and I write T, I, and at this point, the R comes.
He's a tired?
The T, I, and I can see their gears are turning. Once the R comes, they just look at it. They raise forward and they kind of look at each other. They both look down at the paper for the D, and then the next 15 years of my life sucks.
I mean,
Wait.
that is the first James Bale story you hear whenever he gets introduced to new people.
It's
Because, like, I'll bring a new girl around or
That's
something like
so
that.
not
It's
true.
Oh, did you ever hear how James spelled turd once?
It's so
15 years
it's
ago.
so into the ether. It's so into the ether that people they have only met one time. My sister-in-law's best friend. Okay, you met her once, one time.
Uh-huh.
It was a while back, right?
She
She snapped
knows.
a picture of the Fifth Third Bank and sent it to me. The H was burned out.
See, and really,
You've met her once.
we started a podcast so that we could have
Just
you
so you
on.
could get this. This is the whole thing. This was the end game.
This is it.
This started
Last
freshman
episode.
year.
This is going to be it.
This
Yeah.
is the Kaiser Sose
We're
moment.
just we're
Okay.
just going to be promoting this one episode
So-
for this one segment.
So here
For
on
the
the
rest of our
podcast,
lives.
let's just set it straight. I have a question about this turd, tiered, tired, whatever it is.
Right.
In that moment, is this something that you had learned from someone, or had you just never spelled it before and you were like tried to figure it out? Because if that's if that's the case, could you not have like spelled it out?
Wait, what?
Sounded it out?
I did sound it out. Sound out bird. Sound out bird.
See,
If
his
I'm
argument
sounding
is
out
sound.
bird,
The argument, no, but here's the thing.
sound.
Here's
not
the
for
thing.
sounding it. If I'm sounding out bird and I don't know how to spell it, I'm spelling that word with a U.
But if you're sounding out a word, to learn how to spell it, but you already know how to spell bird,
Right.
You
Yeah.
think about, what's this sound like that I already know how to spell, right?
yeah.
At that point, I didn't know what a curd was.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, here, let me say this. I'm just gonna come clean.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not the funny part is just that you didn't know how to spell turd. It's not
Right.
how you spelled it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because think of the word. How do you spell word?
W-O-R-D.
Sure.
How do you spell I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know any
So
other
basically,
words.
what you're getting at, and this will probably let James take over at this point, is the English language is just a little bit
Of course.
ridiculous.
Of course.
It's
yes.
completely ridiculous. Okay, here's what they're getting at. I want you guys to understand that it's taken 15 years to get that he just said
I come clean.
out of either of them. Okay,
Dude,
I've
I
been
still-
waiting.
I
His
still
mouth
haven't
is
said it.
his mouth was on the floor
I
a minute
understand.
ago.
I still haven't
understand.
said it.
Small victories, man. You got to crawl before you walk. All right. But anyway, back to the English language. Back to
Wait, I just want to sit in you saying that for just a second.
Look, man. If anybody out there is wondering,
Wait.
just to explain,
Back to the English
me and James are best friends.
It's true.
If you were ever wondering why that is, it's because of his views and opinions on the English language and colors
Yeah. And seal rights.
and seal rights. And because he got me started in my new career, but we don't talk about that.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, whatever. I regret that every day.
Um,
But no, here's the thing about the English language. Okay?
Okay.
Go on.
Is when you're a small child
Yeah.
and they're teaching you to read,
Yeah.
they say, sound it out.
Yeah.
And you do so.
Hooked on phonics, dude.
And when you're in the first grade and you say the word comba,
Yeah.
everybody laughs at you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
Everybody
so-
laughs at you, but there's a B in that son of a bitch. Okay? Because the problem is that the term silent letters in and of itself negates its own purpose.
Okay.
Okay? It's a silent letter.
Sure.
That's ridiculous.
Now
There's no reason for a silent letter. Absolutely none.
that's true. But
Absolutely none. But we throw them in there just to fuck up the little fat kids that can't
Is
read.
it the
Wait.
fat kids? Is it really the
I
fat kids?
don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, Will was fat and he read Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I
to
spelled
you.
turd great, dude. No, okay, hold on.
Oh, Lord. Professor Simpson here.
Yeah. Never mind. We're moving on. Don't worry about it.
He realized that it was just going to be like, oh,
No,
I
it
am
wasn't.
molding
No,
minds
no.
at this
No.
point.
I will say, as messed up as
No,
the
if
the
you-
English language is, spelling it out, I think it's not it's not a way to learn how to spell. It's more of a way to it's like an early problem solving
Yeah.
technique.
It's a flawed thing that it's the easiest and simplest way to teach someone to read.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
you can teach them the general principle, and then later on you can expand on that and go, okay, these are
Well,
silent letters.
and it would have worked in reverse, right? If you had had a piece of paper with the word the word turd written on it, you could have read that word.
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But it didn't
But
work
then, like,
this way.
then ask him how to spell bird.
That's true.
B-U-R-D.
So-
Yeah.
How to spell bird,
Here-
B-U-R-D.
here's
And
something
they'd been
kinda-
like, what's a beard? Sons of bitches.
Here's something interesting. Last weekend, our friend Ryan Eichelberger was in town
Yeah.
with his entire family, both of his baby girls, and they're 5 and 4. And Tiff and I had Shiley, the 5-year-old. We toted her around all night. We brought her car seat into my car, and everywhere the group went, we kind of took her around and got to talk to her. And she's very conversational. She's very intelligent. Like if she'll speak, she'll say, if she doesn't like something, she's got this thing of where right now she's saying, I'm not a fan of that. And she completely understands what she's saying.
She knows what that means.
I bet she can spell turd.
I bet
she probably can.
No, this is the interesting thing, is she just started kindergarten, right? Mm-hmm. And in kindergarten is really where you learn to spell, you learn your letters and all that stuff. And Tiff and I are kind of quizzing her on the simplest words. And, she has to step back and really think, like, what's a D-O-G? She's like, D-D. And then she works through it.
Yeah.
And that's so interesting to me. Like, that shows my complete disconnect with, like the learning process.
Yeah.
Because she's, like,
right.
Especially with how the brain works, like, at 5 years old, she can completely talk and she's super intelligent, but that's the part of it that she's having to, like, she's almost having to relearn. That's what we had to do as kids.
Right.
We learned how to speak early on, but we have to relearn what all of that means.
Sure, yeah.
Like when you're in school. Mm-hmm. And that was such a cool reminder of that, listening to her sound out words. Even though she knows lots of words, like she doesn't know what those physical things are quite yet. Mm-hmm. And that was just neat to me. But James should have known at 16 how to spell turd.
I don't think I was quite 16.
Wait, was that...
If you were in the 8th grade, you were 14.
We were in Dalton's class.
It was 9th grade.
Dalton's class, yeah.
Oh.
9th grade. You were a
But
freshman.
I was the
too.
young end. I was the young end of our class.
I thought you were way younger than that.
Now Jake's a turncoat.
Dude, I was backing you up. You were in the 9th grade?
Look, no one had ever told me how to spell it.
How do you make it all the way to the 9th grade and not know? Oh.
Okay, look. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Hey, can I clap for a second to the mic? This is
for some time, I had only really written the word like 4 or 5 times.
With an I.
You've done this before.
No. I mean, yeah, that was not the first time I'd spelled turd.
Yeah.
Let's all just say it out loud.
Here's what's going to happen to make you understand why no one told me it was wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one time that I wrote it was to them.
It's sad that you can remember all the times.
The other
it's an
4
important word.
Or 5 or how many ever it was.
Okay.
Were to my brother Junior.
Oh. Well, it's a wonder you got the first letter.
What
right,
a perfect segue. Can you share some Junior stories with us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely can share some Junior stories with you.
Let's do it. Let's hear some.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, James has a brother, Junior, and he is a delightful, joyous creature that... Well, I'm going to say I don't really know the guy.
I was going to say, yeah.
I saw him in Walmart a few times.
See, I worked at Walmart and knew Junior before I met James.
Oh, wow.
And so I knew Junior worked real close to him because I worked in sporting goods. He worked in like the auto mechanics part.
Well, worked is a term you're
He was in the auto
loosely.
mechanics part. And so I'd go over there and hang out for a little bit, and he'd be over there, and he'd always talk and stuff. So you'd get to know him by just him talking.
Hey,
and then so when I moved to Louisville,
song, man, that thing kicks ass.
Yeah, that's about
Let me just
But no, when I moved to Louisville,
let me just give us a 2 for 2. 2 episodes in a row that Disturbed has come up. All right, back to the story.
Man, you're
boom.
Anywho,
Yeah, we did it, everybody. We did it.
I met
everybody.
Junior first. Worked with him for like almost a year, I bet, and then I moved to Louisville a few years later, and they're like, "Do you want to meet James Bell?" Or James Bell's coming over to, I think he was coming to wire up some stuff in the house or something because it wasn't.
Yeah, you wired something up, and we checked the wiring with transformers. Remember that?
Check the wiring with transformers.
That doesn't make
The
any
surround
sense.
sound. We checked the wiring of surround sound.
the movie.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different time.
Okay.
No.
Actual electrical work.
Oh, I thought the first time you came over was to help wire up.
No,
our
he came
surround
over
sound.
to help us remodel your
with the
bathroom.
I don't know.
And run some new circuits in the bedrooms. That's when you guys. Had
That's
knocked out
whenever
the
you
wall.
stuck a butter knife in the wall outlet.
I was trying to pry.
Who's the turd now? Who's the turd now?
Who's the
Stuck a
TRD
metal
now?
butter knife inside of a hot wall outlet.
And I tell you
I
what,
spelled a word wrong. You almost died, dummy.
that's smarts.
That's
My room was covered in wood paneling, and I was trying to pry the paneling off of the wood, and the knife slipped into a hot wire. So I didn't just jam a knife into an outlet. Okay,
I wasn't
okay, because
there,
here
so-
the way
but
I got
you
the
jammed
story,
it into the
the way
outlet.
I got this story from Jake. The way I got this story was not that at all.
that's what happened.
The way I got the story was that you were taking a receptacle out and you tried to pry it out with a knife.
No.
Okay.
It was wood pan, or that, not wood
Yeah,
pan.
So
well,
it slipped. It was an
It slipped.
accident.
It was an accident.
Okay, you're still an idiot.
The receptacle was on the outside. It still had the ears on the yoke.
Yeah.
And it was on the outside of the paneling. So he was trying to get the receptacle out of the paneling
I
so it wouldn't rip the
see.
box out of the wall, which is what I was understanding was going on.
I don't remember. It shocked me pretty hard.
Yeah, it gets you.
Well,
I'll try
here,
and grab
if
you.
you want, like, just real quick before we go into junior stories, just to kind of like help you and take some shots at Joe, would you like to tell everybody about laying trim in his bedroom?
I went over to help them remodel Jake's house that Joe lives in with him, and they all live there, and they were like, hey, we're doing some remodeling, and Joe was like, hey, James is a pretty handy guy. So I go over there and I'm helping, and I'm running the saw, and Joe was calling out measurements to me. I don't know if you remember this or not,
I remember the night.
but Joe was calling out measurements to me, and
I don't know. I didn't know how to read a tape measure.
don't you preface it. I didn't get a preface, turd. So I'm on the saw, and he goes, I said, okay, go get me a measurement from here to here. So he goes in there, and he says, okay, it's 27 and 3 of the little ones, but not the real little ones.
That sounds right. That sounds about right.
Can I just say that I feel like maybe more people will relate to that.
That's probably true.
That's probably true.
But
Well,
anyway,
men is
so,
the thing.
Hey, I'm not the manliest guy. Hey, I'm pretty handy. Jake, am I handy or
He's
am I not?
gotten a lot better. He hung a light.
I hung a light myself.
Good job, man.
I wired
Hey, Jake,
it and
let's
everything.
take a moment to just
Oh
clap
wait,
into
yeah.
the
Hold on.
microphone.
Let me. Okay.
Thank
here
you.
we go.
Let's just take a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Joe Show,
Dude, I
everyone.
couldn't do that. I gotta say, we gotta wrap up with a couple of junior stories. We gotta get a
Okay.
couple of good junior stories in there before we wrap up.
You taking
My brother-
request?
Do what?
Said you taking request?
Yeah. If you want a special request, call in 555
That's
Junior's
right.
dumb. But my brother, and here's the thing: is you guys are probably going to tag me in this on Facebook, and then like my sister's going to listen to it, and she's going to cry her eyes out because her family's falling apart or something. But my brother, God love him, is probably the single dumbest human being I've ever met in my life. Right? Like he's not like.
Yeah, this does go on the internet. You
Yeah, I know.
Okay, all right,
I know.
cool.
Yeah,
Good.
I don't.
Okay,
Whatever.
Hey, your life, man.
But anyway, when we were younger, I'm the youngest of 4, and Junior, my brother, is the oldest boy. My sister's actually the oldest, but he is 6 years my elder. So we were sitting around one day. At this point in my life, I was probably 12, and I would say he was around 18, 19, somewhere in that range. We were sitting around, we were watching the Discovery Channel, and we were watching this special about Alaska, and it talks about how it stays dark there for like 6 weeks at a time, or however long it is, I forget. But we're sitting there watching it, and, they're talking about this thing, and I look over, and there's a hamster in Junior's head running its damn legs off, right? Like, it's you can just see on his face how perplexed he is. And I'm thinking, what's got him so puzzled? So I'm like, Junior, what's wrong? How in the world do they stay asleep so long? Is what I get back from a 19-year-old boy. Okay?
Yeah.
We were...
That is a long time to sleep, though.
I mean, it is a long time to sleep. If you think about it, that's a long time to sleep.
It is.
We were at the house one time, and my mom used to get. We were fairly poor growing up, so like if we got a new pair of shoes, it's a big deal. So my mom used to always get really mad when we would like kick our shoes off from the backs and not untie them because we weren't taking care of them. And Junior was the worst for it. You know what I mean? And so she comes home one time, and Junior's shoes are sitting over there in the corner, and they're still tied. And she lays into him, giving him pure hell. I work hard all damn day. I come home, and these damn shoes are over here in this damn corner. Just going crazy on him, right? In his heightened state, he runs over to the corner and wiggles his feet back into his shoes and untied them and took them off. Because he had to fix it.
Yeah.
He didn't want to be mad no more.
No, that's
Of course, she took that as being smart aleck. And I should have got an abortion.
just a quick undo on that. Yeah, just put it in.
No big deal.
On time.
No big deal.
There you go.
That's
pretty funny.
He was washing dishes one time, and my dad comes through, and he's like, I can't get this grease off this stuff. He's like, I put a little elbow grease in it. And he goes, why are you sticking my arm in that junk? That's nasty. He's a winner, man. He's a winner. Are there any I'm leaving out? I'm sure there are.
TiVo.
Yeah. So we're sitting around, and we were watching a football game, and this was before the days of DVR. This is when TiVo had first really hit big, and only rich people had it. And we were watching a basketball game or something. I forget what it was, and they didn't show a replay of something we wanted to see. And I was sitting there, me and Junior and my dad and my other brother Jake, and I said, Dad, we need to get some at TiVo. We just rewind that deal and pause it. And here that hamster goes again. Right? And Junior looks at me and he goes, there ain't no way you can hit a button and make living people halfway around the world stand still. That's sorcery.
Oh my goodness. I think there's no better way to end off this episode than those stories right there.
Yeah, we need to have you back,
That's
Jimbo.
pretty good.
I will gladly come back.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, I think people will know what to expect next time.
If there are people
decide
next
not
time.
to listen.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody made it
Sorry,
this
I just
far.
ruined your guys' podcast career.
God, we were close.
I did it earlier.
You weren't that
so.
close.
At least we got the WIRD out about. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I think I'm gonna. First of all, you done good, Will.
You done good, James. Jimmy.
You were here, Jake.
He was here.
I was indeed here.
You kind of phoned it in.
Yeah, Jake was here, just crapping all over everyone's dreams.
You done good, Jake.
So I'd like to stop or to finish this episode with a little bit of some sound bites from some of James's beautiful acting work in some of our movies.
Nice.
So, that being said, spin it, DJ.
Enjoy.
Oh, she's doing quite lovely. Wow. What is this?
What are you doing here? I am Environmental Protection Man, and you have messed with the wrong Environmental Protection Man. Deeply Dobo! You'll never catch me! Oh no! I'm tired from all the smog in my lungs! Yes, you are!
But anyway, back to the English language.